Hey everyone, welcome back to English Fluency Space.
I'm Zara.
And I'm Yozin, and today we're talking about something you already know by heart, your daily routine.
But said the real way people actually say it. So stay with us.
I did something terrible this morning.
Oh no, what happened? You sound like something really went wrong.
My alarm rang at 6. I turned it off and told myself I'd close my eyes for just 5 minutes.
And let me guess, those 5 minutes didn't exactly stay 5 minutes.
Not even close. I opened my eyes again, looked at the clock, and it was 8.
8? Zara, how does 5 minutes become 2 hours?
I honestly don't know. Apparently, my brain has its own definition of 5 minutes.
That's not a nap, that's a time machine.
Exactly. When I saw 8 o'clock, my heart started pounding. I just stared at the clock for a few seconds because I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I know that feeling. Your brain is still asleep, but suddenly your whole body realizes, wait, I'm late.
Yes. Then I jumped out of bed and started asking myself, what do I do first? Shower, clothes, breakfast, brush my teeth?
That's not a morning routine anymore. That's a full emergency.
It felt like one. I was trying to do everything at the same time.
And I have to ask, how many alarms did you set?
3.
3?
Okay, maybe 4.
4 alarms, and you still overslept?
Listen, I like backup plans. I just didn't expect all 4 of them to lose.
I don't know whether to admire your preparation or worry about you.
Honestly, after this morning, you should probably worry about me.
Fair enough.
But you know what? That whole experience made me realize something. We talk about our daily routines all the time, but we don't always talk about how those routines actually make us feel.
That's true. Waking up can be stressful, getting to work can be frustrating, and finally, getting home can feel like the best moment of the day.
Exactly. And those little feelings are part of real English, too.
By the way, if you're new here, I'm Yozin. I love turning everyday situations into simple, useful English conversations.
And I'm Zara. I ask the questions you're probably thinking, and apparently I also oversleep for educational purposes.
That's one way to contribute to an English lesson.
I'm doing my best.
This is English Fluency Space, where we practice English through situations you actually experience in everyday life.
Even the embarrassing parts, apparently.
Especially the embarrassing parts. Those are usually the stories we remember. Today, we're going to follow one normal day, from the moment the alarm goes off until we finally go to bed.
And we're not just going to say what we do. We're also going to talk about how we feel during those moments.
Because sometimes you're excited to start the day, and sometimes you really don't want to leave your bed.
Sometimes you're focused at work, and sometimes you hit a wall and your brain just says, no more.
That happens to everyone.
And sometimes something very small can completely change your mood.
As we talk, listen carefully to the natural expressions we use.
And when we ask you a question, answer out loud. Even if your sentence isn't perfect, give it a try.
You don't need perfect English today. You just need to use the English you already know.
So take a breath, get comfortable, and let's start the day.
Ready?
Let's go continue.
So, after that dramatic morning, what do you normally do when your alarm goes off?
Honestly, I hit snooze. I tell myself I'll get up in 5 minutes, but sometimes I repeat that little conversation with myself 3 or 4 times.
So you're basically negotiating with your alarm every morning.
Pretty much. And the funny thing is, I know I'm going to regret it. But when I'm lying in a warm bed, getting up feels like the worst idea in the world.
I completely understand. Your bed is warm, the room is quiet, and then your alarm suddenly ruins everything.
Exactly. It's like my bed is saying, Stay here. You're comfortable.
And your responsibilities are saying, absolutely not. Get up.
That's exactly the argument happening inside my head.
I try not to negotiate with myself. When my alarm goes off, I get up immediately because I know I'll feel worse if I stay in bed.
Really? That's actually a good habit. I wish I had that kind of discipline in the morning.
It took practice. I'm not naturally excited to get out of bed either.
That's comforting. I thought you were secretly one of those people who wakes up smiling at 6 in the morning.
Definitely not. I just know I have to get moving.
After I finally get up, I make my bed and open the curtains. I like having some light in the room because it helps me feel more awake.
That's a good routine. And remember, we say make my bed, not do my bed.
Right. I make my bed. That's easy enough.
Exactly. One small correction, and now you can use it naturally.
I like that. Small corrections don't feel so scary when you explain them like that.
Then I take a shower and get dressed. After that, I'm usually ready for breakfast.
Breakfast is important for me. If I skip it, I get hungry and irritated. And honestly, I'm not very pleasant to be around.
So breakfast is protecting everyone around you.
Exactly. It's not just food, it's a public service.
That's one way to describe it.
When I'm in a hurry, I just grab something quick. Maybe a banana, some toast, or anything I can eat without thinking too much.
And grab breakfast is a really natural expression. It means you get something quickly, especially when you don't have much time.
So I can say, I grabbed a banana because I was running late.
Perfect. That's exactly how a native speaker might say it.
And unfortunately, I was definitely running late this morning.
Very late.
Very, very late.
Okay, think about your own morning for a moment. What time do you usually wake up?
And what's the first thing you normally do after you get out of bed?
Say your answer out loud.
Maybe you said, I wake up at 7 and take a shower.
Or perhaps, I wake up early, make my bed, and have breakfast.
Whatever you said, you've already started practicing real English.
Okay, you're dressed, you've eaten, you've found your keys, hopefully faster than you did this morning.
Eventually, finding my keys is sometimes a separate part of my morning routine.
Where do you usually find them?
In the most obvious place. That's what makes it so frustrating. I look everywhere, panic for 5 minutes, and then discover them right in front of me.
That happens more often than people admit.
Exactly. Then I finally leave home and head to the bus stop.
How do you usually get to work?
I take the bus. It's convenient, but during busy hours, it can get really crowded.
Oh, I know that feeling. Sometimes you get on the bus and suddenly realize there's barely enough room to stand.
Yes, and when you finally find a seat, you feel incredibly lucky.
That lucky.
Absolutely. If I've been standing for 30 minutes and someone gets off at exactly the right stop, getting that seat feels like winning a prize.
I can understand that.
I actually started listening to English podcasts on the bus. It makes the journey feel much more useful, especially when the bus is slow.
That's a great habit. You're turning an annoying part of your day into English practice.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, this bus is taking forever, I think, okay, I have 20 minutes to listen and learn something.
That's a really positive way to look at it.
It also makes me feel less frustrated when the bus is late.
And when you finally arrive?
I usually feel relieved, especially if I was worried about being late.
Good. Relieved is a useful feeling word. It means you feel better because something stressful is over.
So I could say, I was worried about being late, but I arrived on time, so I felt relieved.
When you arrive at work, what's the first thing you usually do?
I check my messages and look at what I need to finish that day. Sometimes I feel organized, and other mornings I look at everything and immediately feel overwhelmed.
I know that feeling. You open your phone or computer expecting one or two things, and suddenly there are 10 new messages waiting for you.
Exactly. And before I even start working, I'm already thinking, how am I going to finish all of this?
That's why I like saying good morning to people first. It gives me a moment to slow down before I start working.
Do you enjoy small talk?
I do, but I understand why some people feel nervous about it. You don't need to say anything impressive, though.
That's what I used to worry about. I thought I had to say something interesting every time someone spoke to me.
Not at all. Simple questions are enough. How's your morning going? Or, did you sleep well?
That's actually much easier. I can handle questions like that.
Exactly. Small talk isn't about giving a perfect answer. It's about keeping the conversation friendly and comfortable.
I like that. It makes speaking English feel much less stressful.
And the more often you use those simple sentences, the more natural they start to feel.
Around 11, my energy usually starts disappearing. I can still look at my computer, but sometimes my brain doesn't seem to understand what I'm reading.
I know exactly what you mean. You recognize every word, but somehow the whole sentence makes absolutely no sense.
Yes. I start reading the same sentence again and again, hoping my brain will suddenly cooperate.
That's usually when I take a short break. I walk around, get some water, and give myself a few minutes away from the screen.
I sometimes feel guilty when I take a break, even when I know I need one.
I understand. But taking a short break doesn't mean you're being lazy. Sometimes your brain simply needs a reset.
That's something I need to remind myself more often.
And that's where the expression hit a wall is useful. It means you suddenly feel like you can't continue.
So I could say, I worked all morning, and around 11, I hit a wall.
Exactly. That's a very natural way to describe that feeling.
By lunchtime, I'm usually starving. And actually, that reminds me of something embarrassing that happened last week.
Oh no. The way you said embarrassing makes me feel like this is going to be a good story.
I had only 20 minutes for lunch, so I put some leftover soup in the microwave and started answering a message.
That sounds normal so far.
That's what I thought. But I got distracted, and about 10 minutes later, I smelled something terrible.
Please don't tell me you forgot about the soup.
I completely forgot about it. I ran to the microwave, opened the door, and smoke came out.
No, what did everyone do?
Everyone looked at me. I just stood there, completely speechless, holding my phone like it was somehow going to save me.
And did someone finally ask what happened?
Yes, someone said, "Who burned the soup?" And I had no choice but to admit it was me.
So you had to own it.
Exactly. I had to own it, even though I was incredibly embarrassed.
And how did you feel afterward?
First, I panicked. Then I felt embarrassed. But after a few minutes, I started laughing because the whole thing was so ridiculous.
That's actually a great emotional sequence. Panic, embarrassment, and then laughter.
Yes. And now it's one of those stories that gets funnier every time I tell it.
At least you turned a terrible lunch into a useful English lesson.
Exactly. My burned soup is helping people learn English.
Okay, let's practice some of the language we've just heard. Keep your answer simple and make it personal.
And don't just repeat us silently. Say the sentence out loud so your mouth gets practice too.
I usually wake up at 7, but I'm often still tired.
Your turn. What time do you wake up and how do you feel?
After I wake up, I take a shower and get dressed.
Now tell us what you normally do after waking up.
I grab breakfast when I'm in a hurry.
What do you grab when you don't have much time?
I go to work by bus, and I usually listen to English on the way.
Now describe your journey to work, school, or wherever you normally go.
Around midday, I take a short break because I need to reset.
Now make that sentence true for your own day. Notice something? The sentences are simple, but they're connected to real situations from your life.
Exactly. When English has a real meaning for you, it's easier to remember and easier to use. If you're enjoying this kind of real-life English practice, take a moment to like the video.
And if you're practicing with us for the first time, subscribe to English Fluency Space. We'd love to keep learning and speaking with you.
All right, let's get back to our day.
Afternoons are usually the hardest part of my day. Around 3 o'clock, I start thinking about going home, even though I still have work to finish.
I know that feeling. Your body is still at work, but your mind has already started planning the evening.
Exactly. I look at the clock and think, how is it only 3?
That's a painful question.
Very painful. But when I finally finish everything I needed to do, I feel proud of myself.
That's important. Even when a day is difficult, finishing your responsibilities can give you a real sense of accomplishment.
Yes, sometimes I don't realize how much I've done until I finally stop.
What do you usually do after work?
Sometimes I run errands, maybe buy groceries, pick something up, or stop at the pharmacy. They're normal things, but after a long day, they can feel exhausting.
So errands are easy in theory, but somehow tiring in real life.
Exactly. Yesterday I ran 3 errands after work, and by the third one, I was completely exhausted.
That's a perfect use of exhausted. It's stronger than simply saying tired.
Right. If I'm completely drained after a long day, I can say, I'm exhausted.
Then you finally head home.
Finally. Honestly, the moment I close my front door, I feel like the outside world disappears for a while.
I really understand that. You put your bag down, take off your shoes, and suddenly you don't have to rush anymore.
Exactly. I usually sit on the sofa for a few minutes before I do anything else.
No dinner? No chores?
Give me 5 minutes first. I need a little time to become a person again.
That's fair.
Then I change into comfortable clothes, and my whole mood starts to change. My body finally realizes, okay, we're home, we can relax now.
That's a perfect example of wind down. You slowly relax after a busy or stressful day.
So I can say, I like to wind down in the evening.
Exactly, and it sounds very natural.
What do you usually do in the evening once you've had time to relax? I usually cook dinner, although it depends on how tired I am. When I'm exhausted, even deciding what to eat feels like hard work.
I understand that completely. Sometimes the hardest part of cooking is deciding what you're going to cook.
Exactly. But when I'm relaxed, I actually enjoy it. I like having some music on and taking my time.
Do you usually spend your evenings alone?
Not always. Sometimes I catch up with a friend, and those conversations can completely change my mood.
Really? Even after a difficult day?
Yes. Sometimes you can have a terrible day, then talk to someone you trust for 30 minutes, and suddenly everything feels a little lighter.
That's very true. A good conversation can make a bigger difference than we expect.
Last night I caught up with an old friend, and we talked for almost 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes, we had so much to talk about that we completely lost track of time.
That's another useful expression. Lose track of time. You stop noticing how much time has passed.
Exactly. You look at the clock and suddenly think, wait, it's midnight already?
That's usually when you realize you should have gone to bed earlier. Eventually, the evening comes to an end, and it's time to get ready for bed.
I like sleeping, but I don't always like the process of getting ready for sleep. Suddenly, I remember all the little things I forgot during the day.
That's so true. The moment you get into bed, your brain suddenly becomes very interested in unfinished tasks.
Exactly. I brush my teeth, set my alarm, prepare my clothes for tomorrow, and then I tell myself I'm going to sleep early.
And do you?
Sometimes.
That hesitation tells me everything.
Okay, usually not. I often check my phone one last time, and then somehow 20 minutes disappear.
You lose track of time again.
Exactly. I plan to sleep at 11, but suddenly it's midnight and I'm still scrolling.
And how do you feel the next morning?
Exhausted. Then I promise myself I'll go to bed earlier that night.
And then the same thing happens again?
Unfortunately, yes.
That's a very human problem.
Very human.
You know what I find interesting about daily routines? We repeat them so often that we sometimes forget to notice how we actually feel.
That's true. Waking up can feel stressful, breakfast can feel comforting, and starting work can make you feel motivated or completely overwhelmed.
Then the afternoon can bring frustration or tiredness, especially when you've been working for hours.
And going home can bring this huge sense of relief. Even something as simple as taking off your shoes can feel wonderful after a long day.
Exactly. That's why daily routines are such useful English practice.
Because you already know the story. You don't need to invent anything.
Your life gives you the situation, your feelings give you the vocabulary, and speaking gives you the practice.
I really like that. Your ordinary day is actually full of English.
Let's do one final speaking practice. This time, try to make the sentences sound like your real life.
Don't worry if you need a few seconds to think. Take your time, then say the sentence out loud.
In the afternoon, I run a few errands after work.
Your turn. What errands do you usually run?
After work, I head home and relax for a while.
Now describe what you do when you arrive home.
In the evening, I catch up with a friend.
Who do you usually talk to in the evening? Sometimes I lose track of time because I'm enjoying a conversation.
Now make your own sentence with lose track of time.
My favorite part of the day is the evening because it feels peaceful.
What's your favorite part of the day and why?
If that felt difficult, that's completely okay.
Difficult doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're pushing yourself a little further.
And every time you speak, even with mistakes, you're building confidence.
Let's quickly review some of today's most useful expressions.
And this time, don't just listen. Say each one with us.
I hit snooze.
I hit snooze.
I make my bed.
Make my bed.
I grab breakfast.
I grab breakfast.
I'm running late.
I'm running late.
I head to work.
I head to work.
I take a short break.
I take a short break.
I hit a wall.
I hit a wall.
I'm starving.
I'm starving.
I run errands.
I run errands.
I head home.
I head home.
I wind down.
I wind down.
I catch up with a friend.
I catch up with a friend.
I lose track of time.
I lose track of time.
I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
These aren't just vocabulary words. They're expressions you can actually use tomorrow.
When your alarm goes off, when you're running late, when you need a break, or when you're finally relaxing at night.
Before we finish, here's your final challenge. Describe your entire day in 6 or 7 sentences.
Start with, I wake up at. Then tell us what you do next and how you normally feel.
You can say, I wake up at 7, but I'm usually still tired.
Then continue with, after that, I take a shower and have breakfast.
Later, you might say, in the afternoon, I usually feel tired, so I take a short break.
And finish with something about your evening. I head home, wind down, and usually go to bed around 11.
The important thing is to describe your real life, not somebody else's.
And don't stop every time you make a mistake. Keep going and let the sentence come out.
That's how speaking becomes more comfortable.
And now we want to hear from you. What time do you usually wake up, and what's the first thing you do?
Write your answer in the comments, even if it's only 1 or 2 sentences.
You could say, I usually wake up at 7, but I'm often still tired. I grab breakfast and take the bus to work.
Or tell us about your favorite part of the day. Maybe it's the morning, lunchtime, or that wonderful moment when you finally get home. You know, Zara, we started this episode with you waking up 2 hours late.
Please don't remind me. I was hoping we'd forget that part.
I'm afraid it's part of English Fluency Space history now.
That's embarrassing, but at least we got a lot of useful English out of it.
Exactly. And that's what I like about practicing English through daily life.
You don't need a special English life. You can use the life you already have.
Your morning, your work, your meals, your friends, your frustrations, all of them can become speaking practice.
Even your mistakes.
Especially your mistakes. Sometimes those are the moments you remember most clearly.
And maybe that's a good reminder for English learners. Your English doesn't have to be perfect before you start speaking.
You just have to start with what you know and keep building from there.
One sentence, one conversation, and one ordinary day at a time.
So tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, remember one thing from today's lesson.
And maybe don't hit snooze 5 times.
That's very specific advice.
I'm speaking from experience.
Fair enough.
Whatever your morning looks like, try describing it in English.
Say it out loud.
Make mistakes.
Correct yourself.
And keep going.
If this episode helped you, give it a like and subscribe to English Fluency Space for more real-life English conversations.
And leave your daily routine in the comments. We'd love to hear what a normal day sounds like in your English.
Until next time, keep listening.
Keep speaking.
And don't be afraid of mistakes. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to English Fluency Space, and share your answer in the comments.
Tell us one thing about your daily routine in English. We'd love to hear from you.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and don't be afraid of mistakes.
We'll see you in the next lesson.
Until next time, keep listening and keep speaking.
Bye.